All right, good afternoon. It's Monday morning, November 27th already. Thanksgiving last week. Great week. Very cool time, family, all that good stuff. And the market's actually kind of coming around a little bit. The rates are coming down a little bit. Kenny, what are the rates today? I'd ask you. Yeah, I hadn't looked yet. I could tell.
7.35.
Good job. You got to it before I did. Where do you have it on your screen?
I look every morning. I do my
Okay,
hot
cool.
sheet. I look at that every morning.
Good for you, man. Good for you. I've gotten out of the habit to doing that. I got tired of watching it go up every day. But now it's actually coming down every day. Mine is not working.
We are 7.32 on Friday and back at 7.35 today. So just it's kind of staying steady like the last week or so.
Awesome. Yeah, it's interesting. Mine's not loading. It's like completely locked up. I'm not sure what's cooking there, but I'm not going to worry about it. So 7.35. So we've dropped rates pretty good since the 8% range, right? And honestly, if we get to the high sixes, it's going to completely change the mindset of buyers. In my opinion, I think that's a trigger number is about 7. Right. So if we can get into the sixes, they're going to forget all about 3, 4, and 5%. They're going to be feeling pretty zesty about a 6% rate, I think. So that's not too far away. That's a good thing. What are you guys seeing right now with buyers with the sentiment and temperament of rates?
I actually have a listing right now that's live in Sacramento, and we've had a lot of showings. My seller is dead set on his number. That just is what it is,
No, the same
unfortunately.
one.
Yeah. Um, Basically, what I'm seeing is the thing's a little bit of a fixer, and they're close to my buyer's number, but he's not budging. But basically, there's a lot of showings. Basically, what I'm saying is, last 2 weeks I had 13 showings. Not
Oh,
bad.
wow. Well, you've got to, if you're getting that many showings, then, price may not be the problem. I mean, it seems like it's a problem, but if you're getting that many showings, it might just be now if you're getting offers and the seller's not accepting it, that's a different conversation also.
Yeah, there's a little bit of obsolescence there.
Gotcha. But that's overcome by what?
Price.
Correct. Yep. Functional obsolescence, whatever it may be, is overcome by price because there's a price for every property. It could be under an overpass with barbed wire around it, and there's still a price. Somebody that wants it for bare land or whatever the buyer is, the highest and best use buyer. So what I want to talk about today is, really focusing on being education-based, data-driven evidence. And we talk about that when we talk about rates. We talk about that when we talk about the market. And, Kenny and Sonia, you're both similar markets, Sacramento, Elk Grove. I'm up in Corvallis, Oregon. But the bottom line is really understanding what's going on with the trends in the real estate space. I'm already seeing stuff. Are we in a buyer's market? Are we in a seller's market? It's just, there's a lot of misinformation out there that you've got to become that expert of, right? So really focused on education-based data-driven evidence. What that means is like, I'm going to educate you today on the market, buyers and sellers. And I'm going to talk about data. I'm going to talk about data-driven evidence, not speculation and not my opinion, right? That puts you as an authority position in that conversation. If I could say the housing market is down 22%, but the prices are up 6.1% or whatever the number is, that's data-driven evidence that will become indisputable, right? So it takes out, hey, there's the market's going crazy. There's lots of things on the market, whatever it is. Inventory stats, all those things are important for you to be looking at. And through this repetition and follow-up, we could change the narrative that they're having that they're getting from the news. Even when I just barely try to glance at the news and glance at Inman and glance at the business reports on real estate, it's all talking about how bad the real estate market is. Well, who's it bad for? It's not bad for a seller if you have low inventory, right? It's not bad for a buyer if you're not as competitive as it once was. 22 offers, now they might be the only offer. We had an offer this week that, they came in pretty aggressive and we started ping-ponging back and forth. My sellers were very, very reasonable. And we got it together far less than I thought we would probably be at. but that's just from keeping the dialogue open, talking about factual data, right? And if there's no homes on the market, then we could be a little more stubborn, right? So all these things are kind of a wash. Any questions on that? Okay, we only got a couple of you, so it's just pretty easy. When we look at this, we've got to convert more leads into conversations. We've got to take the amount of people that are out there and convert them into a conversation about real estate and around real estate. It could be in a third party sense. It doesn't have to be you saying, hey, I want to buy and sell homes for you. It may be, hey, Jill, I know you respect me, you know I'm in real estate, but do you know anybody that is looking to buy, sell, or invest that I can potentially help with? We even do rentals. We don't do property management, but I can help a renter get into a house. I can help a renter get into a duplex, maybe has an investment property and their home. I could do all that kind of stuff. All right. Another thing that you could say to your people right now is your understanding of the current market is important. I'm curious if you'd be open to me sharing the reality of what's truly going on. You see the power of that language. Would you be open to me sharing with you the reality of what's really going on in the real estate market? That's saying that you have more information, better information that they're going to get from news sources and other people. If they run into an agent at Safeway that's hardly doing any production, what's that agent going to say? This market is incredibly bad, incredibly tough. Interest rates, interest rates, interest rates, no inventory, right? No sellers are willing to move. That's just their narrative. You have to be the one that changes that narrative. Right? So understanding the market, staying in curiosity, not judgment. And then if they say something like, I heard the market is really this, just say, I'm really curious. Where did you come up with that information? You know, where did you come up with that understanding of rates? Where did you come up with that understanding of this? And they go, well, it's everywhere. The rates are just crazy. They've come down about 3/4 of a point, and the Feds haven't done anything, right? That's just the market is adjusting to the rates. So the rates are now about 7.25 where they were 8. So that's a good thing automatically. We believe there's going to be some forward pressure on rates in the future as well. So that's a good indicator for refis, people that are kind of locked up in this 8% rate range. Okay. And then this market is changing and happening very fast. You need an expert that's going to guide you through these components as you become a seller, a buyer, an investor, a renter. What can I do to become that person for you? Right? So one of the key things to do to focus on this change in the narrative is the metrics on 90-day trend lines. So 90-day trend lines are going to be how many listings came up in the last 90 days compared to last year, how many escrows, how many canceled expireds are important to look at right now. Some agents completely miss those categories of expireds, canceled, withdrawn. You can even make a couple phone calls into there asking sincere questions about, hey, I noticed you took it off the market. I know you're probably getting a lot of phone calls. I don't want to be another one of those people. But I was curious, what inspired you to take your home off the market? Was it just frustration? Was it the house that you wanted to buy fell out? What is it? And start getting some of that so you can have some dialogue that says, yeah, I've talked to 10 sellers in the last 30 days. And the number one thing that's going on with withdrawn and canceled is frustration in the price point, for instance. Okay. So if we look at these 90-day trend lines, where we were, how many homes sold, how many went pending, how many active, what's the 90-day trend lines for the amount of time on the market, and then what's the appreciation versus depreciation. Right now we're in a what market?
Appreciating market.
Modestly,
but it's appreciating.
Yeah, we're still in an appreciating market. Now, in 2008, we went into a depreciating market extremely fast, and it happened overnight. It seemed like that we lost 5, 10, 20% value. Some of the markets, like I was in Shasta, Tehama County, we led the nation in depreciation. So 50% change in 1 year in depreciated value, right? 50% in 1 year, led the nation. It was like Chico was number one at 50 something percent, and Redding was number two at 46% or something. So we led the nation in depreciation because we led the nation in appreciation. During 05, 06, 07, we led the nation. Chico, Redding, Shasta County was number 1 and 2 in the United States for appreciation. The harder they rise, the harder they fall, you know? So we kind of knew that some of that stuff was going to be happening, but it happened fast and it happened almost overnight. All right, so let's recap. Education-based, data-driven evidence. Appreciation, typically around the nation, we're looking at 1.6% appreciation nationally. Some markets are 4 or 5%. We've got to make sure we're talking about our market, then nationally, right? Data-driven evidence. I want to really emphasize the word evidence. Through repetition and follow-up, change the narrative to correct and shift the data truth to your truth, right? So you could really have the conversation with them. So you could talk about, would you mind if I shared the reality and factual evidence of what's going on in the real estate market? It puts you above those agents. There's just like, hey, this is Jill. You know, the market's, you know, it's really tough if you're a buyer, really tough if you're a seller, or they don't have any business going on. They don't know. They don't have a clue what's going on with the math of the business. So this is where you can really separate yourself right now and evangelize your clients around you. So I'm gonna stop the recording as we go to Q&A, but this is evangelizing your clients to follow you like they would Dave Ramsey or somebody like that. They're looking for you to be the market expert, and you're backing it up with data-driven evidence, not market's up a lot, market's down a lot, interest rates are better, interest rates are worse. That's generalized terms. It's not going to be building people that are following you. All right, makes sense? Awesome, I love it. So we do this each Monday at 12 noon, high noon Pacific time. We do 15 minutes of coaches nuggets for me, then 15 minutes of Q&A that we take off the recording. So if you're enjoying this, come see us, randybyrd.live, every Monday at 12 p.m. And like I said, we go for 30 minutes and we take questions, but we talk about the market. We talk about coaching things that are going to help move your business forward now. All right, appreciate that. I'll see you soon. Bye for now.